Welcome to Moto-Everything. Today, I'm going to teach you how to replace or upgrade your brake pedal. Welcome to Moto-Everything. Today's video, as you can see, we are changing and upgrading this gray pedal for this nice anodized black pedal. It's going to look a lot nicer around that entire back end, so let's get right to it. First of all, we need to replace and take out this back end, and we want to try to do this without actually taking off the tire. So we're going to scoot behind here and try to take off this 10mm nut. There's a nut and a spacer in the rear of this stock pedal, so we're going to try to put our hands through this back end and try to take every component out. As you can see, there's a spring right here that literally is in the most uncomfortable spot, but we're going to try to make it happen, and we're just going to remove it. So first off, we need to remove this 10mm bolt. It's an actual bolt and spacer that actually go back here, and we're going to remove it as quickly as we can. And you can see there, it's literally a bolt, 10mm bolt and a spacer. So we're gonna try to take out this top spring, which this spring is actually the spring for your brake light sensor. It's actually the spring that goes back into the sensor, so that way your brake lights can come on. So we're gonna take these needle nose pliers and we're gonna try to tug down on it to take it out, because it is actually hung up on the other spring that's right in front of it. Now there's a larger spring that you might want to make sure you take out secondly, so you don't destroy the much thinner spring. So the way we're going to do it is through the top. You want to put something on that anodized black part, and you want to pull up with the needle nose pliers, and it should come right out. So once you have both springs out, now you can focus on getting out this cotter pin here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to take out this cotter pin. It is a pain in the butt to do it without taking out the exhaust and the tire. So be patient, be mindful of how you try and take out these parts, because it is very uncomfortable. So what I did is I used a real thin screwdriver, opened up the cotter pin, and then lastly I pulled it out with the same small thin screwdriver, and then just pried it out with the needle nose. So as you can see here, we're gonna move it apart, and then once it's almost out, we're gonna pull it out with the needle nose. So we're actually straightening out the cotter pin because it is folded in against itself. So we're gonna pull it out here, as you can see, with the screwdriver. Once that's off, we can go ahead and now pull it out with the needle nose pliers, and there it is. That's your cotter pin right there. So now once that cotter pin is out, we can actually take out this pin, which goes to your brake pump. I believe that's right there, your brake pump. And that's for your rear brake, by the way. So now you can pull out that brake pump, clip that pin there, and all it's gonna do is release that lever. So now we can slowly push up on the brake pump or get it out of the way. And then we're going to pull that lever out, and there it goes. Now all that's left is to take out that spring. So you can see side-by-side comparison is literally the same, and we're just going to take out the spring, pass it on to the next one, and in case you missed it, you can rewind it and see how I took it out. It's that simple. You just pop it right out, pop it back in. And again, this lever, believe it or not, it's for a Ninja 400, which surprisingly fits on the Ninja 500. So we're gonna take the center portion and just fill it up with grease and try and get it in there without having too much trouble. So you can see here, we pushed it in. It's perfect. It's there. Now we can put in that actual pin without putting in the cotter pin, in case we do make mistakes. So we want to tug on there, make sure it's nice. We'll put in this 10mm bolt once again. You can see there now that we are tightening it just slightly so we can get that spring out the way, and we can connect it again. Now here again, you want to do the same procedure, and you want to put something on there so you don't scratch that anodized black part. You want to tug real hard, bring that up, that spring, bring it all the way up, and there's going to be like a little peg where you can seat it. And it's going to stay seated because there's an indent in the middle where you can actually seat the spring. Once that spring is in there, you can go ahead and bring down the secondary spring, which is your brake light sensor spring. And we're just going to put both springs on there, and now we're going to focus on this cotter pin, which it's a pain right now to put on there. So you have to make sure you look at it and attack it from all angles, and also make sure you bring those tabs all the way out and you can fold them properly. Now here we ran into a problem because once we put everything in, we did tighten it down with the 10mm, and as you can see here, it is nice. We've set it up nice, but all of a sudden, pam 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 pam. Yep, that's right. After it was said and done, that spacer you saw there, yeah, we forgot to put the spacer. So guess what we had to do? We pretty much took everything apart and we had to reinstall it because that one spacer was actually stuck to the stock pedal. So make sure you're always checking your owner's manual, and that's exactly what we did. And we realized that the spacer actually goes in front of that pedal and right against that rear set footrest. So make sure you read your manual. Make sure you're always checking on where these parts go, because an honest mistake, it can happen to anyone. But as you can see here, we pumped it a few times. We checked to make sure the light came on because that sensor is a little tricky to get. You can adjust it there with a little screw, but look, it works. It works perfect. We put everything back on, and like I said, that black flows so much better than the gray, the stock gray. But if this helped you in any way upgrade or install your brake pedal, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you like, you comment, and you share with your friends to stay up to date on Moto-Everything, your channel for motorcycle everything.